Students, this is the second part of the video, Why Do We Fall Ill? In this part, we will study about various important aspects of disease and their treatment. First point which we are going to study in this video is means of spread. Infectious diseases can spread from an infected person to a healthy person by various ways, and therefore they are also called communicable disease. Diseases can spread through various modes like air, water, sexual contact, and vectors. So, when we are studying why do we fall ill, we have to think over which disease is spread by which method and how we can control the spread of that disease. For example, first one, airborne diseases. Causative microbes of such diseases spread through air by droplet infection. Little droplets are thrown out by an infected person on sneezing or coughing. These droplets can be breathed in by someone standing close, and the microbes get a chance to start new infection. And common example of diseases which are airborne are common cold, cough, pneumonia, and tuberculosis. Air-transmitted diseases are easy to catch if we are closer to the infected person. Overcrowded and poorly ventilated housing is a major factor in spreading airborne diseases. As this is pandemic time, students, you are very well aware of COVID-19. In this, what happens? In this, the spread is airborne. That's why we are maintaining social distancing, physical distancing, as well as wearing masks so that we may not get infections. So you are well aware of airborne diseases now. And moreover, you should keep in mind that airborne diseases are fastest to spread. So we have to take much precaution to protect ourselves from airborne diseases. Waterborne diseases. In such diseases, microbes spread through water. If the excreta from someone suffering from an infectious disease such as cholera gets mixed with the drinking water used by people living nearby, then he may or she may get that infection. Such diseases are more likely to spread in the absence of safe supply of drinking water. And some example of waterborne diseases are cholera, amoebiasis, dysentery, typhoid, etc. So what we should do? Students, we should try to use safe drinking water, as well as we should ensure that the drainage system is proper in our locality. Now, third disease is sexually transmitted diseases, that is STDs. These are microbial diseases that can be transmitted by sexual contact. STDs do not spread by casual physical contact. Examples of sexually transmitted diseases are AIDS, syphilis, gonorrhea, etc. The AIDS virus can also spread through blood-to-blood contact with the infected person, blood transfusion, or from an infected mother to her baby during pregnancy or through breastfeeding. Okay, now let us study about another means of spread of diseases, and that is spread of diseases through vectors. Many animals which live around us can transmit diseases or germs from sick person to a healthy person. These animals are known as vectors, and they carry the infectious agents from the diseased person to a healthy person. Okay, and these animals act as an intermediate between a diseased person or a sick person and a healthy person. So these vectors are mainly of various kinds. For example, they may be a mosquito, they may be flies, etc. And students, we have to remember the name of the vectors of different diseases. For example, female Anopheles mosquito is the vector of malaria. Culex mosquito is the vector of filariasis. Aedes mosquito is the vector of yellow fever and dengue. Tsetse fly is a vector of sleeping sickness. Sandfly, it is a vector of Kala-Azar. So students, for objective questions, you have to remember the name of the vectors and the diseases with which they are associated. Okay. Now students, let us study about general effects of infectious diseases. And the effects include inflammation, swelling, pain, fever, etc. The severity of disease manifestation depends on the number of microbes, that is pathogens in the body. Students, I think you are well aware of the term pathogen. The disease causing microbes are known as pathogen, and how much a severe a disease will be in any human being will depend on the number of pathogens that has entered our body. If the number is less, then disease manifestations will be minor. But if the number is more or very large, then disease will be severe. So, these are the general effects of infectious diseases. So, one can easily identify that if we are suffering from infectious diseases, then inflammation may occur, swelling may occur, we may feel different type of pain as well as high temperature or fever can be experienced. And the severity will depend on the number of microbes entering our body. Now, organ-specific and tissue-specific manifestations. If microbes enter from air, it will enter through nose and ultimately they will reach the lungs. And this type of case is seen in case of the disease tuberculosis. If the microbes or the disease-causing pathogen enter through mouth, they will stay in gut lining. Gut means alimentary canal, digestive tract. So, when the infectious microbes enter through mouth, they will stay in gut lining, that is digestive tract, and this type of condition is seen in case of typhoid. Typhoid causing bacteria first enters through mouth and then stays in gut lining. If the microbes enter through mouth and go to liver, then the manifestation is that it is jaundice. Jaundice causing virus performs this type of entry. It enters through mouth and enters the liver and symptoms appear as like that of jaundice. Now, third method is through sexual contact. And as we know, one most common disease through sexual contact is AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. And the virus that causes this disease is HIV, human immunovirus, and it enters our body through sexual contact and it spreads to lymph nodes all over the body and it makes our immune system weak. So students, the third mode of entry is through sexual contact and its example is HIV. Fourth, if they enter through mosquito bites, they may enter the liver and then to RBCs, that is red blood cells. And this type of condition is seen in case of malaria causing microbes. They may reach to brain and cause brain-like Japanese encephalitis virus that cause brain fever. So students, the mode of entry may be from air through nose, from air through mouth, through sexual contact, or if they enter through mosquito bites, they enter the liver, and sometimes they may reach to our brain and cause diseases like brain fever. Okay. The signs and symptoms of the disease will depend upon the tissue or organ targeted by microbes. So students, when the infectious microbes, disease-causing microbes enter our body, the symptoms which appear on our body depends on the organ targeted by these microbes. If the target is lungs, then the symptom will be cough and breathlessness. If they infect our liver, then the symptoms will be jaundice-like, meaning thereby our body will turn yellow. If it enters brain, then the symptoms will be headache, vomiting, fits or unconsciousness. So students, if we know the point of entry of microbes, we can easily guess which type of symptom will occur. If the microbes enter the lungs, what will they do? They will cause us cough or breathlessness, meaning thereby respiratory ailments. If our liver is attacked by the microbes, what will happen? Jaundice-like symptoms may occur in our body, and if it attacks on our brain, we may become unconscious. We may suffer from severe headache. We may suffer from vomiting, and sometimes unconsciousness may occur. Now, principles of treatment. Students, as we have already suffering from many diseases, as we suffer from many diseases, then we concentrate on how to get rid of this disease. What are the principles of treatment? To reduce the effects of disease or to kill the cause of disease. Meaning thereby, whenever we suffer from a disease, we want to treat it. Then there are two approaches. First one is to reduce the effect of the disease, and second one is to kill the cause of the disease. First one, to reduce the effects of the disease by providing a particular treatment so that symptoms can be reduced. But it will not kill the disease causing microorganisms. Therefore, disease would not be cured completely. This is what we do, isn't it, students? Whenever we feel fever, we go to a medicine shop and buy paracetamol and we use it. The fever goes down. We think that we are healthy, but we have become healthy, but it is not so. Actually, we have reduced the effect of disease, but the disease has not been eradicated, not been removed. So what will be the better way? The better method will be to kill the cause of the disease. Taking medicines that kill microbes is the best way for complete recovery from a particular disease. For example, for the treatment of bacterial disease, antibiotics can be taken by the patient that block essential biochemical pathways of bacteria without affecting our own. Similarly, there are drugs that can kill protozoans such as malarial parasite. But it is harder or very difficult to make antiviral medicines because viruses have very few biochemical mechanisms of their own. The most common antibiotic you must have heard, students, is penicillin. And what does it do? It inhibits, it blocks the cell wall formation in bacteria. This way, the bacteria dies and we get rid from the bacterial disease. But it is said that antiviral drugs are very difficult to form. Why antiviral drugs are not so effective? Because students, viruses don't have any biochemical pathway of their own. Actually, they utilize the biochemical pathway of the host itself. So it is very difficult to make antiviral drugs, because if we make antiviral drugs, it will affect our biochemical pathways also. So we have to devise some other methods so that we can control the spread of virus in our body. So it is very difficult, relatively difficult, to create antiviral drugs. But then also some effective antiviral drugs like the drug that keeps HIV infection away from us are now available in the market. Principles of prevention of diseases. As prevention is better than cure, emphasis should be given on prevention of disease. General ways of preventing infectious disease. Airborne diseases. What must be the general way? By providing living conditions that are not overcrowded. As you know, airborne diseases are spread by overcrowded condition, because they are spread by droplet infection. So if large number of people will stay in a small room, the chances of getting that disease is more. Social distancing cannot be maintained if many people are residing in a small room. So what is the best method? By providing living conditions that are not overcrowded. And we should protect ourselves by wearing masks or taking safeguards like putting hanky over our nose when we are coughing or sneezing. Okay, it comes in manner also. Second is waterborne diseases. How we can save ourselves from waterborne diseases? By providing safe and clean drinking water. Students, in most of your houses, there must be some water cleaning system available like RO or AquaGuard, etc. And if that is not available, what is the best method? The best method is to boil the water and drink it. So drinking safe and clean water is the best method to safeguard ourselves from waterborne diseases. Secondly, you should not drink water everywhere. Don't drink water at public places until and unless you are sure the water is clean. Okay. Now, the third type of disease is vector-borne disease. Vector-borne diseases can be controlled by providing clean environment, which would prevent breeding of vectors like mosquitoes, flies, etc. So in order to safeguard yourself from the disease caused by vectors, you should ensure that you live in a clean surrounding. Accumulation of water in your coolers or in your campus or in your lawn should be strictly avoided, because these act as a breeding place for these mosquitoes and flies, which act as a vector for various kind of diseases. We have already studied that in the previous video also, and in this video also we have already discussed that mosquitoes and flies are vectors of various kinds of diseases. So we should avoid the accumulation of water around our houses or inside our houses in flower pots, etc. We should try to change the water timely so that they may not act as a breeding place for these insects. Second method is making our immune system strong. A strong immune system can help us in safeguarding ourselves from different type of diseases. And how we can increase our immune system, we can make our immune system strong? We can make our immune system strong by taking fresh fruits and vegetables, by taking balanced diet, and by doing proper exercise, meditation, etc. So this will help in increasing our immune system. Third method is specific ways of preventing diseases. It includes immunization. So students, then question comes in mind, what is this immunization? Immunization describes the process where people are protected against illness caused by infection with microorganisms or pathogens. And one important method for immunization is vaccination. The term is derived from Latin word vaccinia, meaning cowpox, whereas the word vacca means cow. It is the process of injecting dead microbes in the body of a healthy person in order to develop immunity against a particular disease caused by the microbe. This eliminates the infection because when the immune system first sees an infectious microbe, it responds against it and then it remembers it specifically. So the body develops a memory of a particular infection. So students, what happens when we take a vaccine? Our body develops antibodies and it remembers the infection, and when again that infectious agent attacks our body is able to combat that infection. So now the question arises, what is vaccine? Vaccine is a preparation of weakened or killed infectious agents or their products. They stimulate the immune system to produce antibodies against particular disease. The first vaccine was discovered by Edward Jenner against smallpox disease. Many vaccines are available for preventing infectious diseases and provide disease-specific means of prevention. Some diseases against which vaccines are available are as follows. First disease for which vaccine is available is diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, and the name of the vaccine is DPT. You ask your parents, you must have been administered these type of vaccines in childhood itself. Second vaccine is polio, and it is known by a common name, oral polio vaccine. Third is hepatitis, and its vaccine is hepatitis vaccine. Fourth is the vaccine of tuberculosis, and its name is BCG. Students, you have to remember the full form of BCG also, that is Bacillus calmette-guerin. These vaccines are available under child immunization program for preventing infectious diseases, and every child up to the age of 1 to 5 are given these vaccines free of cost in our hospitals and dispensaries and medical centers. So proper vaccination can help us from combating those diseases and safeguard us from those diseases. So students, I hope in this video you understood all the aspects of why do we fall ill. And if you find my video interesting, it helped you to understand the topics well, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.